Hi Jackie, great to meet you up at the ranges today and do some work on your game. Just to recap on the session that we did, first 10 minutes or so was regarding golf's first fundamental, which is the player's ability to hit the ground in front of the golf ball. And one of the things we spoke about was the position of the weight and how this relates to the golf's first fundamental. So the first thing we did was we took the setup here on the left. We positioned approximately 70% of your weight on your left side, ball in line with this cane here on the ground to represent the line that we want the club to hit the ground in front of, and then we're trying to keep the arms straighter during the swing to reduce the scooping tendency brought about because of the player's fear of hitting the ground behind the ball. So once we got the idea in our head that we only ever move our weight towards the target, the ball strike started to improve and your ability to hit the ball first directly improved along with it. If we look at the swing now from down the line, the first thing we saw here was that we were trying to look for straight lines. We were trying to get a straighter line between the shaft and the golf club. So if we extend that line up from the shaft, what we're seeing is that it hits us in the middle of the body. And one of the things we discussed was that the shaft with better players, generally speaking, hits the player somewhere around the belt buckle. When we do that, we get a much better angle here between the arms and the shaft. You can see now that the arms are hanging and there's a little bit more hinge in the wrists at setup. Previously you had your wrist very high, so in other words this wrist was in a very uncocked position, and what's going to happen from there now is, as well as having poor posture where we're still very upright, as opposed to this fantastic setup we see here on the right where we look much more athletic and planted, we now see the club get rolled behind us too much. In the backswing, club still below the level of the hands at this point. Now the arms can't really work properly. And I'm just going to take you back to this position here, and we can see now that the right arm very much above the left, the right elbow starting to raise and flip up. The wrists have done very, very little, and this can be seen by the fact that the hands have actually separated from each other at this point. So the unit formed with the grip at setup has been lost. If we take a little look here by comparison towards the end of your lesson, you've got your handle lower, we've got a little bit more flex in the knees. Now the club is going to work back, still on the inside, but it's going to start to elevate much sooner. So it's going to get above the hands. As a result, the wrist can hinge. And if I stop you at this point now, you can see a marked difference between the two sections. We've got no daylight here. On this one, the right arm started to fold nicely, the wrists have started to hinge, and the arms are in a lovely position. You're also looking much better in regards to the footwork. You can see here your right foot creeping up off the ground, whereas here we're nicely planted with the weight still on the left hand side. So all in all, from a better setup position, we make a completely different backswing. It's a great session. I'm sure if you can work at that for the next week or so, you're going to see some marked improvements. Well done.